Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens in the making. Let me tell you something right now. How you start your day determines how you live your life. If you want to walk in favor, in abundance, in peace, and in power, you better learn to start your day thanking God.
All the sting to the king. We can't humble music. Trench brews. My name is Zoo. My family call me Zoo. Love 'em. That's the merger. It means to bring together. So we just finna talk to him. Came from the ice, we like some dice, you who shook me up. Built from the clay and ATL, that's where he made me from. Don't follow moons or deal with crystals powered by the sun. Every lesson in my life, I teach it to my sons. Been integrated since a baby with a different measure. I'm just talking about my life, they say I'm rapping better. I follow Albert, that's a bet just like the second letter. Without no roots up in your hoosha, you a lonely fella. I'm with my partners from the bottom since we claim the culture. Chacho keep a cool face like we playing poker. I pray the angels come and get us when this album opens. Fire in my belly burning, you can't stop my motion. You can trust it, get injustice for my boy Malik. Just know the roots a little deeper when you see a tree. I shed some different tears when we lost our partner feet. I tell my story on this beat so they can learn of me. It hurt my soul when my cousin couldn't go no more. I found some solid spirits traveling on this lonely road. Let's go. Executing all my plays coming from the coach. Gain some better understanding with a new approach. I run with underdogs, a lot of sun to set my part. Abba built us from the trenches, you can't see my art. Survive some testy situations, you can check my chart. I'm Superman for my family, all you see is Clark.
See, too many people wake up checking their phones before they check their spirit. They open their inbox before they open their hearts. But what if, just what if, the very thing you're searching for in the world is waiting for you in the quiet place with your Creator? You want clarity? Start with gratitude. You want peace? Start with praise. You want breakthroughs? Start by thanking the one who already broke the chain.
I'm far from basic, born and graded way back in the 80s. I had my mama and my daddy, but Yahuwah saved me. Changed my thinking and my vision like they do with LASIK. Brothers acting like they Smith, agents in the Matrix. I assist in situations like a pallet jack. Rock told me let him live when I seen a rat. Yahuwah named by the peach on the Georgia tag. I'm better for today, but people pointing at my past. Protect my peace, these demons hard to see. We was bred a little different, we from Forest Creek. I thank the King for his mercy every time we eat. I seen Ivy come from death, this ain't they believe. I told Anua take the lead and I got his back. Gave direction to some people but they missed the map. We showed them love, no conditions but they fumbled that. Jealousy was on their body like we seen a rash. I called your phone like a man but you sent the message. Subliminals online but nobody read it. It's indirect like a child so I won't address it. Bro, you stressing in your life so you moving reckless. Eliminating certain stumbles, I was good at Tetris. Battle demons in my life like my name is Wesley. In my children ain't a kingdom where I put investment. Ruah give me understanding, wear like a necklace. We working wonders in the trenches where it's single mothers. Feed them brothers with your well and we praying for them. I got a different type of fire, we survive the struggle. Send some prayers for Canal, he just lost his brother. We just built a little different, we not soft like butter. I hope I make it to the kingdom, I just wanna touch them. My grandma gave me all the tools and I really love her. We not here to please, man, keep the king above your merger.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Produced by J.O.
All I need, give her praises to Yahweh. Through all my trials and my tribulations, I give him praises cause he's all I need. When I've been sinning and I'm down bad, I still remember that he's all I need. And I be doing things that I ain't supposed to do, but he's still whoa. I give all praises to the Most High, giving him my whole truth now. Can't rap about vanity whenever I be in the booth now. Now I find my purpose. I cannot be leading the sheep astray. Yeah, the demons lurking, but yeah, I was shy about to lead the way. Don't care what them people say. When I'm feeling down and I'm feeling low, yeah, that's when I need to pray. Yeah, I gotta stay strong away from my flesh, cause that's where the demons stay. Every day gotta pray to you. Every word you say is true. Through the fire you will take me through. All my life I was lost, but now I'm born again. It's with light in my blood, yes, I am born to win. Got that on my own every single day, avoiding sin. Gotta endure until the end. Ay. Through all my trials and my tribulations, I give him praises cause he's all I need. When I've been sinning and I'm down bad, I still remember that he's all I need. And I be doing things that I ain't supposed to do, but he's still, whoa. I give all praises to the Most High, giving him my whole life. All I need. Sing it for me now. Yeah. There is no peace for the wicked. Gotta stay in the word so I can be great. I gotta stay deep in the scriptures. Tell the devil I'm keeping my distance, cause the Most High, he's all I need. Old man tryna sneak in, gotta knock him off till it's R.I.P. Wickedness, yeah, that's all I see. Gotta still let my light shine. Meditating that holy word, helping me stay in the right mind. Scriptures say the last gon' be first. Steady waiting for the right time. Every single day I fight crime, cause the spirit willing, but I know the flesh is weak. Got me down on my knees, fall down and I get back up, I'm right back on my feet. Yeah, gotta preach the word on these street corners, stomp demons out of my cleats. My faith stronger, my God, I know he's all I need, yeah. Through all my trials and my tribulations, I give him praises cause he's all I need. When I've been sinning and I'm down bad, I still remember that he's all I need. And I be doing things that I ain't supposed to do, but he's still, whoa. I give all praises to the Most High, giving him my whole life. All I need. Sing it for me now. Sing it for me now. Yeah. Sing it for me now. Yeah. All I need. Yeah.
God, can I be heard? Can I be heard? Put a 1 in the chat if I could be heard. Kind. God, could I be heard? I just want to make sure I could be heard. God. Hold on 1 second. Let me just check real quick. Hold on, Salakia family. 1 second.
Says who? Tyler.
Let me check 1 quick second. Con. All right. So I could be heard. All praises. All praise to the Most High. Come on, man. I hope I'm not freezing up. All right. So we just gonna rock out the other way. Come on. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. You know, we back. I'm Captain Asher, and I got with me. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. I got my right hand man, Captain Kadash. He might be busy right now or something, doing something real quick. But yeah, welcome back. You know, Salakia. All praises. You know, we back with another, Wednesday Wisdom. Salakia family, we had a lot going on. Our day-to-day lives, sometimes we end up getting busy, sometimes we get hemmed up. But that's no excuse. We're gonna, keep pushing these classes out, try to get, the ball back and rolling with Wednesday Wisdom, feeding you guys with the spirit, giving you motivation throughout the week, and to keep fighting on and to keep pressing on. So let's just jump into the topic: history versus his story. Now, you may be wondering why the topic or the title is presented this way. Now, what possessed me to come up with this class, or the idea of this class, is because I was thinking about just the other day, with the whole situation with Charlie Kirk and everything like that. And I've been hearing a lot of, hoopla saying, that, us, Jake, that we are the tyrants. We're the ones historically that just that's just genuinely a wild people. So I decided to say, you know what? I'm going to do a borderline history class of what's going on and our history. Because we have been told so many lies as a nation of people, where it's to the point where we believe what other nations tell us, where we don't even take the time to even fact check them or to search our history. Because our history is much more deeper than Malcolm X. Our history is much more deeper than Marcus Garvey. Our history is much more deeper than Emmett Till. Even though these Jakes or even Rosa Parks, these are just mainstream. So I wanted to present a class, or we wanted to present a class, to show that there's more than just the mainstream black history. These are the people you need to know. There's a lot more Jakes in history that we need to know about, as well as I want to pull the history of how America has done Israel. The real history, and not his story of what they've been telling us. So come on, let's open up with the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 17. Or before we get that, Captain Kadash, you got anything you want to say before we start cooking in this class, man?
No, kind of. I think we're good. I think you set up a lot. It's important that we realize what our history is and what it should be. When you look at the destruction of our people, so like when you look at the history of our people, or when you look at the state of our people, one of the reasons why we're so destroyed is because we don't have roots, right? We don't have a structured system that we come from. When you talk about black people in America, especially, our history starts after slavery, after we've already been destroyed. But we got to dig deeper than that, because we had a history before we were in chains. We had a history before we were sold to the other nations. And what was that history? It's written in the scriptures, right? 9 times out of 10, when you ask our people, historical questions about their lineage and where they come from and their family bloodline and their, the patriarchs in their family, they can't go past their grandfather. And that says a lot. Because when you think about royal families, when you think about people that have a family-rich culture, or that understand the things that their family was doing, these families they're not destroyed. We're destroyed because we lack knowledge. Scriptures say, matter of fact, I'm going to get that scripture out there, Colossians 3:17. Hold on, I'm gonna get that real quick.
God,
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, giving thanks to the power and the Father by him. All right, business as usual. Everything we do in the name of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to get that real quick, for we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me get that. And these might be, you know,
quick question though, Kadash. Is with me having my mic on, is it causing a feedback?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, okay.
So you just gotta mute every time you get on.
Okay, all right, come.
Right. All right, so this is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. A lot of our people reject the knowledge of what our history is. You know, we talk about the people that are past Malcolm X and Rosa Parks, and, you know, we had a culture that was rich. You know, I always tell people to, you know, that the museum in DC, right, the African American Museum, all right. Now, I do believe they could have done, you know, a better job going deeper into the history, but that is a good museum to visit to understand exactly how much we went through for our culture to be removed, our true culture. Because what happened with us after slavery, it's like we had to rebuild the culture. Some of the things from the scripture stuff, right? But we really had to rebuild the culture. And now, what is our culture? When you look at the culture of Black people, the culture is colored hair. The culture is baby mamas. The culture is drug dealing. The culture is rob your brother, murders. Everything that God told us not to do, we have literally embraced that culture. That's why I tell people, we should not be embracing Black culture in America. Right? When you look at we think it's, in this day and age, it's a normal thing for, you know, not to call our sisters out. I'm just giving an example because I know how y'all get, right? We think it's a norm for our sisters to be aggressive, right? That we embrace that, like, oh well, that's how, you know, that's how Black women. No. We can't embrace. The scriptures say we have embraced the dunghill, right? That dunghill is the culture that has been fed to us, and we embrace that. We embrace the dunks on 28s while we ain't got money in our banking account, right? We embrace the culture of not having an inheritance to pass on to our children. We embrace the culture of our children being in debt before they even hit 18. We embrace the culture of not having skill sets, right? Not investing into our next generation of people. We embrace the culture of individuality, of selfishness, everything that's bad, right? Everything that's bad, we have embraced. Matter of fact, I'm going to read something else real quick, because I'm going to show you what we have embraced. I'm going to jump up in Hosea chapter 4. Hosea chapter 4, verse 1, it says, hear the word of the Most High, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Now watch what he says. These are all the things that Black culture has embraced. All right. 2, by swearing, by lying, by killing, and stealing, and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. All of those things we have embraced as a people. And that is not our history. That is not something that we should be, you know, glorifying. We glorify brothers getting killed. Right? Well, I got to slide on him because he did X, Y, and Z. No, that's not the culture we should be embracing. But because our history is so jacked up here, right? Because we have We have put ourselves in a position for us to be fed a false history. That's why we're like this right now. And we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. All right. I'm going to go to Corinthians real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what I want. Because when we think about the things that will not get us into the kingdom of heaven, when we think about the things that we have continued to embrace, that is not good. All right. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get it out of Galatians. All right, because this is not good. Let's go to Galatians real quick. We're gonna go to Galatians chapter 5. And if we're still battling these things, like, you know, the problem is we've been embracing this culture for so long. That's why it's so hard for us to get it out of our spirit. Right? We grow up thinking it's normal that a woman has 5 baby daddies. I'm just being honest. We grew up thinking it's normal that, you know, we eating baby back ribs and bacon and ham and salami. We grow up embracing this thing, and it's not good. Now watch this, all right? In verse 19, I'm going to show you all the things that we continue to embrace. This is Galatians chapter 5. And the Most High is already telling us that these things are not good. These are things of the flesh, but we embrace the things of the flesh. All right, Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19. It says, now the works of the flesh are evident, which are adultery. Do we not embrace that as black people? All right, you turn on a song on 99 Jams or 103.5 The Beat, right? Adultery is mentioned probably 20 times in the song. Sometimes it cringes you, like they put it on a good beat and then it's like it gets addicted. You're like, man, it sounds nice, but what they're talking about is trash. Adultery, number 1. Fornication, number 2. How many times you hear a brother saying I can't even say it on the class, man. I mean, vulgar stuff just on the wide open radio for children to hear. But this goes into programming our children to embrace and accept the culture that we have learned. Uncleanliness, lewdness, idolatry, sorcery. Don't we embrace these things? Hatred. You hate your own people. Listen, one of the things I learned in the scriptures when I came to the truth is that the code of conduct for brothers and sisters is so strong. The Most High told us if we even have a thought, you don't even got to act on the thought. If you even have a thought of hating your people, say you should not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because we were made in the image of the Most High. He say, how can you, if you can't love your brother who you have seen, how can you love the Most High? Hatred is a big one, man. Hatred fuels 99% of the crimes in the hood. They hate their own people. Not only do they hate their own people, they hate themselves. That's wicked. That's the culture and that's the history that we have embraced. Right? Sorcery, hatred. Come on. Sorcery, hatred, contentions, right? Striving, just in all type of wickedness. Jealousies, you jealous of your own brother. Outbursts of wrath, selfish ambitions, dissensions, heresies, envy, murders, drunkenness, right? All of these things. Do we not embrace this as a culture? If we turn on, I know Kanye West had brought this up at one point. If we turn on the top 40 songs in rap music, right? You will find all of these things that God said is bad in that one song. I might have to put that to the test actually. 9 times out of 10, you can find all of these listed in one song. And it's the most popular song for our community. Instead of that history, verse 22 said, this is the things that we should embrace. All right? The fruits of the spirit, which is love, joy, peace. All right? They're not talking about peace on the radio. Long suffering, meaning having patience. They don't talk about having patience with your people. All right? And trust me, we know how Israel get. The Most High was losing his mind. Moses was losing his mind. Most High wanted to destroy us, and he created us. The Most High was long-suffering. Moses was long-suffering. We don't practice that amongst our people anymore. Kindness, being kind is not even a thing. You still looking at your brother with an evil eye. Like, geez. Just staring at you. You walk in the corner, you just staring at him for no reason. Mean mugging. Goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You gotta embrace these things, man. Go ahead,
Right, but here's the thing with the issue of that. The reason why we don't have those good qualities and we have all those bad qualities is because we have not been passing down our history. Because we have not continually to pass down generations upon generations of history, we have completely obliterated ourselves, as well as the other nations was allowed to obliterate us from almost off the face of the earth because of us not passing down our history and our heritage. Let me get the book of Romans chapter 15 verse 4, man. Because we so simply forget that these scriptures was our way of life. The history of the scriptures was our way of life. Everything that was written aforetime is part of our history. Everything in this Bible, from the stories, from the time they were establishing laws, this is all part of our history, which we decided to ignore, and we became destroyed because we denied our history. We refused to pass on the knowledge of our history, so the Most High ended up destroying us. So let me get the book of Romans chapter 15 verse 4, man, because we so simply forget this, man. The book of Romans 15 and 4.
This is the book of Romans chapter 15 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
That we might have hope. Through comfort and patience of the scriptures, that we might have hope. So it's basically saying our history would give us hope to keep fighting on, to keep pushing on. But what we decided as a nation of people is that we decided to go against what was hopeful for us, and we chose something that was opposite of hope, which was destruction and being hopeless. We decided to do something that was hopeless rather than having hope. So let me get Psalms 78 and verse 3. Psalm 78 and verse 3. Because what is history? What is history? Because you have to really think about this. What is history? It is what history is what the past, what history truly is your forefathers telling you stories about your family and how the way they operated, and giving you the story so you can learn from it. All it is stories that were accumulated together to give you knowledge and insight and wisdom from, so you can move through life in a positive way. But let's get that. Let's get the book of Psalms chapter 78 and verse 3.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 78 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us.
Uh-huh.
We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Most High, and his strength and his wonderful works that he hath done. For he established a testimony in Jacob, and appointed a law in Israel, when he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children.
Good. It's saying that the history that was given onto us by the Most High, it was supposed to be passed down from generation to generation. And it was supposed to be told through our fathers. And it was supposed to be passed down from kin to kin to kin to kin to kin. But what we decided to do is say to hell nah. We looked at the Most High and said to forget you, Lord. I'm not gonna tell my kids to keep the commandments. I'm gonna have them walk opposite of what you need me to do. And history shows history have shown us that we have been destroyed to the point to where we almost had no hope. But through the grace of the Most High, he kept a inkling, just like the faith of a mustard seed. He gave us a mustard seed of hope to keep pushing on and to keep bringing forth children and having the generations before after us to where we standing now today. Because without the history and without the Most High, we are nothing, man. We are absolutely nothing. Now, Con, now here's I need you to do me a favor, because I want to go into the history. Now, history is such a big thing, a big deal for me, is because you really get to learn and get to see how these other nations moved against us. Because I'll give a quick testimony, right? I remember I was in high school, and this at the time of me learning about being a Hebrew Israelite. This is at the time Kadash was bringing me into the truth, and I started believing and having the wisdom to say, you know what? I'm not gonna stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, because what am I pledging to? Who is my allegiance to? Is it to America? The same country that killed my forefathers, that tried to destroy our identity and our name off the four corners of the earth. That my people's blood is stained by that very same flag that was sitting in the classroom. That red, blue, and white. That the red and white was stained with the blood of my forefathers. And I said, you know what? I'm not gonna stand. And my teacher told me, why aren't you standing for the Pledge of Allegiance? I said, this is not my country. And we got into a heated debate about it. I'm like, this country never belonged to me. This is not my country. This is not my place of rest. We was brought over here by force. We didn't come over here willingly. And then as in the midst of as I'm talking to my teacher, some girl in the back who was mixed, who's a mixed breed, she goes and says something, the most ignorant thing out of her mouth. That happened 100 years ago. I look back at her. And I just shook my head in disbelief. And she was like, "You really care about that? You can't turn the other cheek?" I was like, "Do you not realize that that's two of your grand?" She said she has a great grandmother. I'm like, "Don't you realize your great grandmother was part of that history? She witnessed the killings and the murderings. She was a part of the inequality. She seen first-handedly the pride of Esau." But it goes to show me that our people do not look at history at all. And this is why we're presenting this class. Now, can you do me a favor, please? Can
Huh.
you can you get Rosewood Massacre for me, please? I need Rosewood Massacre, and I need I may be able to pull it up, most I willing. All praises. 1 second. I may be able to do it. 1 second. But let me get Rosewood Massacre, man. Because I took the time to look up major black major massacres, right? I was looking at what did we do that was so heinous for us to get killed in mass numbers. And you wouldn't believe the things that I found. Your mind couldn't wrap around it. My mind couldn't even wrap around it. Let me get the Rosewood Massacre.
Huh.
Son, can you read that for me, Art?
It says on January 5th, 1923,
Mm-hmm.
a mob of over 200 white men attacked the black community in Rosewood, Florida, killing
Mm-hmm.
over 30 black women, men, and children, burning the town to the ground, and forcing all survivors to permanently flee Rosewood. On January 1st, 1923, in Summer, Florida, a young married white woman named Fannie Taylor claimed she had been assaulted by Jesse Hunter, a black man who had escaped a prison chain gang. Though there were no evidence against Mr. Hunter, local white men launched a manhunt in Rosewood, a nearby town of about 200 black people. On
Mm-hmm.
January 2nd, a mob of white men kidnapped, tortured, and lynched Sam Carter, a black craftsman from Rosewood, on suspicion that he had helped Jesse Hunter escape. White men continued to terrorize Rosewood, searching for Mr. Hunter, and black residents armed themselves in defense. Late on the night of January 4th, a white posse fired into the home of Black Rosewood resident Sylvester Carrier, whom they suspected of harboring Mr. Hunter, and killed an elderly woman. A gunfight between Mr. Carrier and the mob lasted into the early morning, killing people on both sides. Outraged that black residents had fought back, the posse left the scene to regroup and return with more men. On January 5th, a mob of between 200 and 300 white men attacked Rosewood, killing an
Mm-hmm.
estimated 30 to 40 black men, women, and children on site and burning the town to the ground. Black residents hid in the woods and fled by train to Gainesville, Florida, never to return. Survivors later recounted that Fannie Taylor had made false accusations against Jesse Hunter to conceal her extramarital affair with a white man.
Do you see now? You see? Do you see the evil? Now, this goes to what history is saying. Not his story, but history itself is saying that there was a false accusation being made, saying that a white woman claimed to have gotten raped by a black man. They went into a whole town because of the outrage of a white woman getting touched, an Edomite woman, and destroyed the whole city to the point that people had to flee and never to return. This is the history that they do not want us to know. This is the history that they want to hide from our kids, from our children. They don't, it's to the point now they're not even speaking about Black history in school no more. Nowadays, when we go out to camp and we go teach and we ask kids that are of 13, 14, 15 years of age about slavery, they don't even know what what slavery is, or what happened during slavery. They have literally cut off your history from being taught to your children. We have to teach the history of what has been done onto us so our kids can get an understanding and realize that we should not intermingle. We should not be codependent, interdependent with these other nations except ourselves. Scriptures always talked about never trust thine enemy. Scriptures have talked about this through time and time again, but we decided to be lackadaisical and lazy and wanted to be a freeloader and wanted to benefit off the reapings and the benefits of the Most High without doing any work to prove to the Most High that we care about him. And now we're suffering for it. This is the history that we need to be teaching our children, man, so they can learn and they can excel. Come on, Black Wall Street. Look at this. This is the most prominent. This, if you don't know about Black history, you're gonna learn about it today.
And this is a very similar story to what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So
Come
the devastation of Black Wall Street. It says in 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma's Greenwood district, known as Black Wall Street, was one of the most prosperous African American communities in the United States. But on May 31st of that year, the Tulsa Tribune reported that a black man, Dick Rowland, attempted to rape a white woman, Sarah Page. Whites in the area refused to wait for the investigative process to play out, sparking 2 days of unprecedented racial violence. 35 city blocks went up in flames. 300 people died and 800 were injured. The defense of white female virtue was the expressed motivation for the collective racial violence. Accounts vary on what happened between Page and Rowland in the elevator of the Drexel building. Yet, as a result of the Tulsa Tribune racially inflammatory report, black and white armed mobs arrived at the courthouse. Scuffles broke out and shots were fired. Since the blacks were outnumbered, they headed back to Greenwood. But the enraged whites were not far behind, looting and burning businesses and homes along the way.
Wait, what were they doing? What were they doing?
Looting and burning businesses. And
They
homes
were
along-
looting. They were looting and burning businesses. You don't hear about Jake doing that though. Jake just went home. Jake may have gotten into a scuffle a little bit. It got a little rough, but it was to protect a man's honor of being falsely acclaimed or accused. But they were literally burning and looting businesses. But we're the tyrants. We're the ones that when you walk into the store, they have to clutch. They're clutching their purses. They're the ones that wants to be on the guard or on the fence. When their whole time, their forefathers have been destroying our people and abusing us for generations after generations after generations. And all we have been is nothing but peaceful. We only fight when we have to defend ourselves. But let's continue on.
It says 9,000 people became homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Josie Pickens writes in Ebony. This modern, majestic, sophisticated, and unapologetically black community boasted of banks, hotels, cafes, clothers, movie theaters, and contemporary homes, not to mention luxuries such as indoor plumbing and a remarkable school system that superiorly educated black children. Undoubtedly, less fortunate white neighbors resented their upper class lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
as a result of a jealous desire to put progressive, high achieving African Americans in their place. A wave of domestic white terrorism caused black disposition.
Oh, but we're the terrorists. We're the menaces. We're the menaces of society. We are the danger to civil rights. We're a danger to the American way. For what they claim what America is, this is totally un-American. This is totally un-American. If this was proclaimed, if they wanted peace and interdependence with each other, this is totally un-American.
See, the thing about America, when they call for peace, is only when it benefits them.
Come on.
They only call it like it's like, even when you talk about, the economic structure and how they were able to obtain lands and, you know, buildings and all of this stuff. It's like, yeah, they took this stuff by force. Like blood had to be shed, and then once they conquered everything, they said, "Oh wait, peace, peace, peace." It's like that's kind of crazy, right?
Matter of fact,
But
I even got a preset for that. Cyrac 10-8.
cons.
Let me get it. I'm gonna get it. Cyrac 10-8.
It's like how do you do that? And then people believe it.
Right. I got a. This is the precept. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Cons.
Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such as one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels.
Right. He'll do anything to conquer what he needs to. He will
And
do
that's the
by
sorry,
any
go ahead.
means necessary.
Right. And that's the epitome of Esau. That is the epitome of Esau. But even though we were doing it and it got translated over to them, they were already doing it. We learned it from them.
Right.
The ill dealings, the covetousness. Because if this ain't covetousness, I don't know what is. You got jealous because we were the superior that Jake was actually doing better than you in another city that didn't belong to you guys. You wanted separation and you got it, but we were thriving more and you got jealous because of that. This is the epitome of Esau, man. This is the epitome of the history of what our forefathers have been speaking to us from generation to generation, and we refuse to hear. We refuse to hear. Can I get the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5? Because I think we be taking scriptures lightly, bro. I think sometimes we just roll with it. We just get nonchalant with the scriptures as if every single precept don't hit hard. But I guarantee you tonight, this precept gonna hit hard.
Cons.
Let me get the book of Ezekiel 35 and 5.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and
Mm-hmm.
hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the
Mm-hmm.
force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end, Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord thy God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Right. Even though Esau loves to proclaim, they have their hands raised, peace, 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 peace. But war is in their heart. And they decided to go to war when we were at peace. The most I gotta do them dirty for that. These nations have a perpetual hatred for us. You have to remember that. Like, we have to constantly stay aware that you have to remember some of these kids that are being raised are being taught the same values that are being displayed in this history class of Black Wall Street. These Edomites are still teaching their kids how to think of this way, how to be this way. But they're doing it far more discreetly now. They're not doing it in the open. Well, maybe now because of the whole situation with Charles Kirk. But this is the epitome of how Esau has always been moving. Now, I want to get another one. I want to get, well, I have it here. I'm gonna present it if I can. Share screen. Share. Settings. 1 second out. Because I got a couple of more that I want to go through. We're gonna go through pretty quickly. Okay, 1 second. Go back. Okay. All right. So do you guys see that?
No, we don't. Hold on, let me see something.
You might gotta unpresent your con. All praises, all praise to the Most High. Now, this is another massacre because I've looked up a series of black massacres that have happened, and I ended up finding another one was not too far. That is literally not too far from us that live down here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You know, this is like I'll say a good another 2, 3, 4 hours away from us. But let's go into it. This is the Oki massacre. The Oki massacre was a horrific instance of racial motivated violence that occurred on November 2nd through the 3rd, 1920, in the small citrus farming town of Oak Sea, Florida. White mobs, enraged by black residents' efforts to vote, attacked the town's prosperous African American community, resulting in dozens of deaths and the total displacement of the town's black population. Prelude to the massacre. In the years leading up to 1920, Oaksey had a thriving black community with residents who owned land, homes, and businesses. As black citizens sought to exercise their newly reestablished voting rights, their efforts were met with intimidation from the Ku Klux Klan and other white residents in preparation for the presidential election on November 2nd, 1920. Black community leaders Moses Norman and Julie Perry, a wealthy landowner, paid the poll tax for many other black citizens so they could register to vote. The event. The violence began on election day, triggered by Moses Norman's attempt to vote. At the polls, white election officials turned away black voters, claiming their registration was invalid. Norman and other black voters were pushed and shoved. After being turned away, Norman returned to his friend Julie Perry's home. A white mob led by former Orlando police chief Sam Salisbury arrived at Perry's house to capture Norman. Perry had been warned, defend Perry having been warned, defended his home. A shootout ensued, killing two white men, Elmer McDaniels, and Leo Borgard, and injuring Salisbury. The white mob retreated and called for reinforcements from surrounding towns. By nightfall, a larger, more organized mob descended upon the north part of Oak where the black community lived. The paramilitary forces led siege to the black community, setting fires to homes, churches, and other buildings. Armed white men shot at black residents who were trapped by the flames or attempting to flee. Perry, wounded having attempted to flee, was eventually captured. A mob later seized him from the Orange County jail, but beat him and lynched him. His body was displayed publicly as a warning to other black citizens. The exact number of victims is unknown, as authorities at the time did not document the deaths. Estimates vary, with some reporters suggesting to 30 to 35 deaths, while other witnesses recalled many more.
That's crazy. That's insane. That just goes to show you, listen, this, I don't think people, you know, I was watching something yesterday. It was like even when you talk about like Black Panthers, like, I think a lot of us, we have forgotten that these things have taken place. This was not that long ago.
It wasn't.
No, it's not that long ago. Like, our people still recover. Like, you talking about one or two generations ago that this happened.
Yep.
You think we're not impacted from, in our households by these things? Of course we are. You know how many people die? I'm looking up, like, when you're talking about, I don't know how to pronounce it, OC, Florida.
Yeah, that's what I perceive it to be is Okasi.
Yeah, like, it reminded me of like these plantations. Like, there's still plantations left in Florida.
Still standing in perfect condition.
And then when you visit, like I'm looking at this one picture. Hold on, let me share this screen real quick.
Oh, as you sharing that, I also wanted to add this too. For forced expulsion, nearly the entire black population was driven from Oak Sea, losing their property and wealth. Survivors were threatened and coerced into selling their land for far less than its value.
That's a real thing. This actually happened. I spoke to my grandmother about a situation that was very similar in our family. Said white men showed up one day and the farm was sold. Said, dang. She said she remembered this as a child. So this was a common thing that was taking place. This is the Kingsley plantation. All right, and you can see who's there just enjoying themselves, like they're like this is just a picnic in the park. Like, people weren't dying here. Like, people weren't getting, raped. Like, sorry, oh man, Salakia.
You good.
Pray I don't get pray we don't get dinged for that.
Right. It's fine.
It's for historical purposes. It's for educational purposes.
Right.
Like, these are things that were going on these plantations. Like, come on now. And these people are here just enjoying it. Like, they have these plantations set up as like picnic parks. Like, they have benches there where you can eat and enjoy your food. Like, bro, it was mayhem going on.
Yeah. It was people dying, losing hope, bro. Matter of fact, people were dying. People were literally dying from heartbreak.
Yeah.
High blood pressure, stress, PTSD. Like, and the thing is that like you were saying, we so easily forget the history, bro.
Yep.
We forget. We forgive and forget. But the script, but through even history of what like that whole thing, you forgive, but you never forget.
Right.
You may forgive, but you never forget. But what we do the opposite. We forgive and forget. So when they trespass again, now we looking dumb.
Yeah.
Fool me once, fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. That's shame on me. But the thing is, right? Like, and it's sad. Like, it make you, like, if this don't stir up your spirit, I don't know what will, bro. I don't know what will, because this, like, when I was finding this out, this was making me mad. Like, I was boiling.
A lot of people, it doesn't stir black people up because remember, black people have a thing of thinking of themselves as individuals. They don't look, you know, we don't look at ourselves as a collective. We don't look at ourselves as a family, a nation. You know, Malcolm X said this back in the day when he was fighting for civil rights. He said, the day we start to look at each other like that's my brother, that's my sister, he said, this place is in trouble. The day we start to look at each other and have compassion and we think of each other as ourselves, once we love each other like we love ourselves, listen, this world is in trouble. But we don't think of ourselves like that. That's why the girl said that in the back, because she has totally dissociated or removed herself from what has happened in the past. Like we are not impacted by that. This is all bad.
That's so true. I got a quick precept for you saying that, because we like to dissociate so much, and I know this is a basic, a classic, but I think we need to really grasp the severity of the scriptures. You may be like, oh, these brothers pulling out the same old precepts, but these precepts stand against time and have a lot of wisdom for each and every different scenario. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7, the classic. Truly oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So seeing this will make a wise man mad, but to the ignorant, to the foolish, to the unwise, they'll disassociate.
Yep.
They'll disregard. They'll push to the side. They'll be like, it ain't me and mine. Am I going through slavery? That's what I hear a lot now. Have you gone through slavery? No, but I'm affected by it. The lingering effects of slavery is still upon us to this very same day.
Mm-hmm.
You got brothers that are pissed off. I mean, have temper problems because of their forefathers harboring anger from generation to generation of seeing and being done violated over and over and over again, to where now the kids, they inherently have an anger issue because that's the anger of how they've been feeling all their lives. That child is a harbinger of anger, of the frustrations and angers of their forefathers. But we not taking the time to learn, bro. We not taking the time to do our due diligence, as the scriptures have said, to rightly divide this word and break it down. What does rightly divided means? You breaking this down to its simplest form. When you're doing any type of division, what you're doing? You subtracting. When you're doing division, you're subtracting to the simplest form as possible. to where even a babe can understand this. Look at that. You mean to you mean to tell me that there wasn't Jake being hung on those trees? That there wasn't Jake being tied upon these trees with a noose around their neck?
This thing say you can explore the grounds of Kingsley Plantation, which include the slave quarters, barn, waterfront, planter's house, kitchen house, an interpretive garden. The visitor contact station bookstore is located in a 1920s building adjacent to the plantation buildings.
It needs to
That's
get
crazy.
burned down.
This thing is on display.
It needs
Come
to
look
get
what we
burned down.
did to y'all. Come feel that pain.
Come look at what we did to y'all. It's still standing perfectly. Matter of fact, the money that you give us, it will go back into upkeeping the place that kept you in bondage for the rest of for your generations of your forefathers. How sick is that? How sick is that, bro? And you mean to tell me that we shall all hold hands and get along? You mean to tell me I should laugh and kiki with people that have done my forefathers filthy, man? Surely just like that scripture you brought out, surely we are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We are utterly destroyed because we decided to say to hell with the Most High, and now we are suffering the consequences of it. I want to get another one. Even though I know I want to get one more. This is gonna be a 2-part class because I want to show y'all the history of what was being done onto us, but I also want to show y'all the good history about us because we need a little motivation. You know what I'm saying? We need to show our kids that there was black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, the Jews, that were doing good for society, that we invented things that benefit society today, that we are a great nation. But for this class, I have to show you what these other nations have been doing onto us. So let me get the Colfax massacre. I want to get the Colfax, COLFAX massacre in Louisiana. Bro, like we gonna learn today, man. Cause this history has to be taught. This history has to be taught to our children, because if they don't learn this history, they will never understand or will never value the people that the people that they're around that is of the same skin color. They won't look at them any other way. They won't hold them with a certain value and certain specialty. When I found this out, when I was going through school and we had to learn about we had to watch Roots, bro. We almost set the whole school ablaze. It was fights happening after we watched Roots. Do you understand the level of having to watch Roots, and then you looking in the classroom and you looking at other Jakes as Kunta Kinte getting whipped, and they could feel the whips. They flexing like they getting hit. and we looking at each other with the understanding of knowing, bro, we're going, we understand each other right now. We seeing eye to eye like the scriptures say. People, they won't understand that, man. So let's read that, man. Let's jump into it.
Says Colfax, a small town in northern Louisiana, has a new memorial to a massacre. The memorial commemorates a brutal and deadly racial massacre that occurred there in 1873. Almost 150 years later, the unveiling of the memorial marks an important step in recognizing and remembering the tragic event. The Easter Sunday Massacre remains the deadliest one-day event of the post-Civil War Reconstruction era. White supremacists killed nearly 100 black citizens in Colfax. The exact number of casualties is still unknown, but the new memorial includes the names of 57 black citizens known to have been killed and an additional 36 names of black citizens who were wounded. The memorial also provides a detailed account of the brutal killings. Hold on. Descendants of both the white perpetrators and black victims attended the dedication of the new memorial. Dorothy Richardson Peters pointed to one of the names on the marker, Henderson Dean, saying, "He was wounded. That was my great-great-great-grandfather."
Now, do you see what I'm talking about, Rock? This was not too long ago, bro.
Yeah.
The fact that this lady said he was wounded, that was my great-great-great-grandfather.
We need to know this stuff. We need to know this. This is important information.
This is. I'm telling you, like, this stuff is real. And then the crazy thing is, you have the descendants of the perpetrators sitting at the memorial. I ain't gonna lie, if my forefathers, right, was like perpetrators for doing something vile onto another people, right, that we didn't have that we were just dead in the wrong, I would never show up to the memorial. I would never have the gall as a descendant of them to go sit at the memorial to be like, oh, I'm sorry what my grandfather did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for what my family has done to your family. I'm not going to be there because you know why? Because I feel so guilty about what happened that I'm not going to even show up.
I just let you slide. Like, I just let you get away with that.
Yeah.
Listen, it says she added that she was never taught about the massacre in school, but her family always told her it was something you didn't talk about. That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I know I'm not saying this for no reason. I'm not saying this for no reason. This is a prime example. She said they never talked about it. She never learned it in school, and her family never spoke on it. Why in the hell did they not speak on it? This is what destroys us as a people. Come on, I digress, man. You keep reading. Salat.
Says a time for history and healing. Jerry Hickman, whose grandfather was one of the attackers, also attended the unveiling. He said, the younger generation should grow up knowing the truth of the matter. Several of the attackers were convicted of federal civil rights violations, but those convictions were overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court in U.S. versus Cruikshank. That decision and others limited the ability of the federal government to enforce voting and civil rights for African Americans into the 1960s. Listen, man, this guy said his grandfather was one of the attackers, not the one that was attacked, but the one that was doing the attacking.
And they let them sit side by side.
Side by side. Yeah, you killed my granddaddy, but I'm over that. Like, what? You killed one of my family members?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie.
This is why the scripture's so important. Listen, they didn't. Our forefathers didn't go for that.
Bro, that's a generational beef, bro.
Yeah.
That's a generational beef. I'm not letting up off that, bro. You mean to tell me
Abraham did? Look what Abraham did to get his family back. Abraham strapped that he told all his we're preparing for war. You can't see that's the code of conduct in the scriptures that everybody overlooks. Like, when you talk about us as a nation and family, the Most High is like, that's like number one. That's one of the number one priorities of the Most High. You don't let anybody just do anything to your family.
Bro, scriptures even talk about you're not supposed to stand for the blood of your neighbor.
Don't just stand around and watch that. That's that go
law.
Down. That's law. That's on hood.
That's on hood. That's on gang.
That's on gang them. What you
That's
mean?
On gang them. On phone them grave.
That's why I say
on phone them grave.
When you think about how mafia ties or how these people move, they're not operating out of this. When you talk about family and keeping family first, they're not operating outside of what the Most High told us. They're really not. Family over everything. The Most High he's so big on family and nation. Like, it's the code, like, fervent. You got to have a fervent love for your people. Most High was big on that. But now we let anybody do whatever they want to our people and just turn a blind eye to it. We still trying to figure out how the brother Kendrick, I think his name was Kendrick Johnson, how he got found rolled up in that mat. Still to this day, nobody knows what happened to him. Just crazy stuff, man. Nah, you're not supposed to rest. Somebody do something to your family, you don't rest until judgment is carried.
Bro, it's on sight, bro.
There's a reason why if you did something to somebody's family, there's a reason why they had the city of refuge. Because that family, by law, they was on your head.
Bro, they got claims. They got the right to take you in and do you filthy.
Yeah. Yeah. The only way you would be saved by that is by the city of refuge.
And then you would have to stay in the city of refuge. You would have to stay in the city of refuge to the day you almost basically died.
Yeah.
Just so you could stay safe or until they cast judgment. Until the judges of the land cast judgment on you. To hear the matter. But it goes to show you, bro, like, this is important. Let me get Deuteronomy 6:20. Let me get Deuteronomy 6:20. Because the Most High gave us a duty and a law and a task to complete. And this is one of them, bro. This is one of them. Deuteronomy 6:20.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which the Most High our power hath commanded you? Then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and the Most High brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And the Most High showed signs and wonders great and sore upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household. before our eyes. And he brought us out from thence that he might bring us in to give us the land which he sware unto our fathers. And the Most High commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is at this day.
Fine. So basically, what we're supposed to do is give the history of what we've been through to give our children the account and say, at the end of the day, the Lord has still found favor upon us to keep the law, statute, commandments. You supposed to tell them about Black Wall Street. You supposed to tell them about you supposed to tell them about Black Wall Street. You supposed to tell them about the Oak Sea massacre. You supposed to tell them about the Rosewood massacre. You supposed to tell them about this massacre. So when they ask you, why am I learning all this, and why are these people doing this to us? You could tell your kids, because the law within the scriptures, it said, because we didn't keep the law, statutes, commandments of God, that we will be punished as a nation of people, because we decided to not listen or adhere to the commandments and laws and the contracts that we bound ourselves to God, saying that he will be our power, and that he will be our power and we will be his people. And that at the end of the day, that the Lord is coming to save us, but we have to keep these law, statutes, and commandments in order to be free from this captivity that we are presently in today. This is what we're supposed to be teaching. Not his story, but history itself. Because just like that lady said, she didn't learn this in school. And her parents and her forefathers did not do what they were supposed to do, of letting her know what happened. We have to speak. We must speak, and we must teach, so we can have our children to be safe and to get them out of this captivity pronto. Because as long as we are in this captivity, man, the worst is going to get. So we got to put them on game before anybody else put them on game. Because this world is going to feed them false doctrines and lies. But we got to feed our children the real truth. The uncut, the unfiltered, raw truth. Because they need to understand that this ain't a game. This is not a game, and we are a nation of people of great stature that the Most High has called us to be. And we are more than these incidences, that we are more than what these other nations believe us to be. They have gotten so prideful that they forgot who we were, who we are as a nation of people. There was a time where they trembled and feared us, where they almost even revered us, because we were a nation of wise people and of great continents. And we must return back to that estate and to that standard. And with that, I yield. You got anything you want to say, Cap?
Con, I think we brought out some good information. This was important stuff. It's always good to brush over our history and what we need to, be learning, because this is how we determine where we're gonna go. It lets us know that there's certain people that we shouldn't be trusting either. So this is important. So I'll praise to the Most High for allowing that to come out.
All praise to the Most High. I hope you guys were really edified with what we presented, what we brought out, the information that was given onto you. I hope you digest it, and I hope you go over it. A matter of fact, I want y'all to do homework. I want y'all to get 10 facts for each of these massacres. And I really want y'all to go in detail of what took place for these massacres. Because there's a lot more information. I know the information that we was given, it was broad, but I know there's a lot more information that is more in detail of what was taking place during the massacres and stuff like that. And I want you guys to really look into this stuff. Look into your history. Because without no past, we have no future. You know? So I hope you guys, continue to fight on. I hope you guys continue to keep praying, keep fasting. I hope you guys are gonna have a beautiful Tabernacles, because Tabernacles is supposed to be this weekend. Start this weekend at Saturday at sundown. Tabernacles begins, and I hope I hope y'all having a beautiful Tabernacles. I hope y'all turning up, having a great time, and praising the Most High. And while you at Tabernacles, take the time to look over the story of how Tabernacles was established, the dwelling of bulls, Sukkoth, if you will. So I hope you guys take the time to really go through the scriptures, fast and pray, keep fighting on, keep fighting, bob and weave, fight off Satan, continue to dwell in brotherly and sisterly love, and keep praying for the nations, and pray for Yahweh, Yahweh and Yahweh Shah to destroy this wicked captivity so we can get the hell up on out of here. And with that, I say shalom.
Shalom.
Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens in the making. Let me tell you something right now. How you start your day determines how you live your life. If you want to walk in favor, in abundance, in peace, and in power, you better learn to start your day thanking God.
I was staying to the king, became humble music, Trench Brews. My name is Zood, my family call me Zood. That's the merger. It means to bring together. So we just finna talk to him. Came from the ice, we like some dice, you who shook me up. Built from the clay and ATL, that's where he made me from. Don't follow moons or deal with crystals powered by the sun. Every lesson in my life, I teach it to my sons. Been in the greatest sense of baby with a different measure. I'm just talking about my life, they say I'm rapping better. I follow Albert, that's a bet just like the second letter. Without no roots up in your hoosha, you a lonely fella. I'm with my partners from the bottom since we claim the culture. Chacho keep a cool face like we playing poker. I pray the angels come and get us when this album opens. Fire in my belly burning, you can't stop my motion. You can trust it, getting justice for my boy Malik. Just know the roots a little deeper when you see a tree. I shed some different tears when we lost our partner feet. I tell my story on this beat so they can learn of me. It hurt my soul when my cousin couldn't go no more. I found some solid spirits traveling on this lonely road. Executing all my plays coming from the coast. Gain some better understanding with a new approach. I run with underdogs, a lot of sun to set my part. Our builders from the trenches, you can't see my art. Survive some testy situations, you can check my chart. I'm Superman for my family, all you see is Clark.
See, too many people wake up checking their phones before they check their spirit. They open their inbox before they open their hearts. But what if, just what if, the very thing you're searching for in the world is waiting for you in the quiet place with your Creator? You want clarity? Start with gratitude. You want peace? Start with praise. You want breakthroughs? Start by thanking the one who already broke the chain.
I'm far from basic, born and graded way back in the 80s. I had my mama and my daddy, but Yahuwah saved me. Changed my thinking and my vision like they do with LASIK. Brothers acting like they Smith, agents in the Matrix. I assist in situations like a pallet jack. Rock told me let him live when I seen a rat. Yahuwah named by the peach on the Georgia tag. I'm better for today, but people pointing at my past. Ooh. Protect my peace, these demons hard to see. We was bred a little different, we from Forest Creek. I thank the King for his mercy every time we eat. I seen Ivy come from death, this ain't make believe. I told Anua take the lead and I got his back. Let's go. Gave direction to some people, but they missed the map. We showed them love, no conditions, but they fumbled that. Jealousy was on their body like we seen a rash. I called your phone like a man, but you sent the message. Subliminals online, but nobody read it. It's indirect like a child, so I won't address it. Bro, you stressing in your life, so you moving reckless. Eliminating certain stumbles, I was good at Tetris. Battle demons in my life, like my name is Wesley. In my children in the kingdom where I put investment. Ruah give me understanding, wear it like a necklace. We working wonders in the trenches where it's single mothers. Feed them brothers with your L and we praying for them. I got a different type of fire, we survived the struggle. Send some prayers for Canal, he just lost his brother. We just built a little different, we not soft like butter. I hope I make it to the kingdom, I just wanna touch them. My grandma gave me all the tools and I really love her. We not here to please, man, keep the king above your merger.
Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens in the making. Let me tell you something right now. How you start your day determines how you live your life. If you want to walk in favor, in abundance, in peace, and in power, you better learn to start your day thanking God.
All the sting to the king. We can't humble music. Trench brews. My name is Zoo. My family call me Zoo. That's the merger. It means to bring together. So we just finna talk to him. Came from the ice, we like some dice, you who shook me up. Been from the clay and ATL, that's where he made me from. Don't follow moons or deal with crystals powered by the sun. Every lesson in my life, I teach it to my sons. Been integrated since a baby with a different measure. I'm just talking about my life, they say I'm rapping better. I follow Albert, that's a bet just like the second letter. Without no roots up in your hoosha, you a lonely fella. I'm with my partners from the bottom since we claim the culture. Chacho keep a cool face like we playing poker. I pray the angels come and get us when this album opens. Fire in my belly burning, you can't stop my motion. You can trust it, get injustice for my boy Malik. Just know the roots a little deeper when you see a tree. I shed some different tears when we lost our partner feet. I tell my story on this beat so they can learn of me. It hurt my soul when my cousin couldn't go no more. I found some solid spirits traveling on this lonely road. Executing all my plays coming from the coach. Gain some better understanding with a new approach. I run with underdogs, a lot of sun to set my part. Our builders from the trenches, you can't see my art. Survive some testy situations, you can check my chart. I'm Superman for my family, all you see is Clark.
See, too many people wake up checking their phones before they check their spirit. They open their inbox before they open their hearts. But what if, just what if, the very thing you're searching for in the world is waiting for you in the quiet place with your Creator? You want clarity? Start with gratitude. You want peace? Start with praise. You want breakthroughs? Start by thanking the one who already broke the chain.
I'm far from basic, born and graded way back in the 80s. I had my mama and my daddy, but Yahuwah saved me. Changed my thinking and my vision like they do with LASIK. Brothers acting like they Smith, agents in the Matrix. I assist in situations like a pallet jack. Rock told me let him live when I seen a rat. Yahuwah named by the peach on the Georgia tag. I'm better for today, but people pointing at my past. Protect my peace, these demons hard to see. We was bred a little different, we from Forest Creek. I thank the King for his mercy every time we eat. I seen Ivy come from death, this ain't make believe. I told Anua take the lead and I got his back. Gave direction to some people, but they missed the